Hello and welcome. My name is Nathan Bretzman. I'm a product manager on InDesign, and in this series I'm going to show you step by step how to create this double-sided trifold brochure using the latest version of InDesign from the Creative Cloud. Before we get started, if you'd like to follow along with the assets I'm using, you should download those now. Now I'm using a Mac, but these steps will work for Windows as well. On a Mac, you may notice that your screen could look slightly different than mine. It's because I've enabled the application frame so that we can focus only on InDesign and not see any desktop or other applications running in the background. To enable the application frame, go up to Window and select Application Frame. On Windows, InDesign is already in an application frame and you're good to go. So the first thing I'd like to do is change the units and increments that InDesign is using. So I'm going to go up to InDesign, Preferences, Units and Increments. On Windows, you want to go to Edit, Preferences, Units and Increments. And by default, InDesign uses picas, which is a somewhat old print measurement. I personally prefer inches, and that's what we'll be using in this series. So for both the horizontal and vertical ruler units, I'm going to select inches and select OK. Now we're ready to create our document. So go to File, New, Document. You'll see InDesign's New Document dialog. A new feature in InDesign on the Creative Cloud is this preview button I'm going to enable right now that allows us to see in real time our document setup. So with that enabled, I'm going to set my number of pages to 2, so we have both a front page and a back page. I'm going to turn off facing pages. I'm going to set our orientation to landscape. And now I'm going to come down to the columns group and I'm going to select 3 columns. This allows us to see approximately via the gutter where the folds will be once this brochure is printed and folded. I'm also going to tighten up the margins a little bit, so go down to the top margin, select all in the input field, and type in 0.1667 space IN. That's about 1/6 of an inch. Hit tab, and since the constrained proportions was selected, all of our margins changed at once. Now if I click OK to commit this, you'll see we have our front page and our back page. We've set up 3 columns with some gutters to show us approximately where the folds are. If I go up to File, Save, I'm going to give this a name. We'll call this Pluralist Brochure. Save it as an InDesign Creative Cloud document, and we're ready to move on to the next video. Hello, and welcome back. In the last video we set up our document. We have our front page and our back page. We set up a 3-column layout with gutters to give us an idea of where the folds will be once this brochure is printed. And now we're ready to place some graphics into InDesign. So we'll go up to the File menu. We'll select Place. You'll navigate to wherever you saved the Assets folder to. We're going to select Assets 1 through 6. These are our images. Select Open. You'll notice that InDesign has loaded the place gun with our first image, which is our cover. And to place this, I'm going to click in the upper left corner, drag down to the lower right across the page, and mouse up. And that's it. We've placed our cover image. We're going to continue and do the same for our logo. So I'm going to click in the 3rd column, drag to the right guide of that, mouse up to place. Now for the map, we're going to place this at full size. So I'm going to open up the Pages panel, double click on the Page 2 thumbnail to jump to it. And for the map, I'm just going to click once in the upper left corner to place that image at full size. Now we're down to our caption images. So I'm going to click in the left-hand column, drag down to the lower right of that column to place caption image 1. For caption image 2, click in the middle column, drag to the lower right. And for our icon, I'm just going to click once, same as the map, to place this at full size. Now if I scroll back up to page 1, we're going to start drawing our line segments for our brochure. To do this, I'm going to select the line tool. I'm going to click in the 3rd column underneath the Pluralist logo. I'm going to hold down the Shift key and drag to the right to create a perfectly horizontal line. I'm going to go up to the control strip, change its stroke weight to 2 points. You notice that it's black by default. We're now going to create a yellow swatch. So I'm going to open the swatches panel. I'm going to click on the stroke control to bring that to the front so that we know that we're editing the stroke color. I'm going to click the flyout, select New Color Swatch, and for our yellow swatch, our values are 0% cyan, 7% magenta, 100% yellow, and 0% black. You see our yellow preview. If I click OK, Our line stroke color has changed to the yellow, and our swatch has been added to the bottom of our swatches list. We're going to close the swatches panel, select the pointer tool. With our line segment still selected, I'm going to click, hold down the Alt and the Shift key, and drag down to duplicate this line to create our second segment. Mouse up, and that's created. I'm going to open up the Pages panel, double click on page 2 to jump to it. We're going to once again select the line tool. I'm going to click in the upper left margin guide, hold down Shift, and drag all the way to the right to the edge of the third column guide. I'm going to change this line stroke weight to 7 point, and we're going to create our blue swatch. So I'm going to open up the swatches panel, ensure that the stroke is in the front, so we're going to edit the stroke color. I'm going to click on the flyout, select new color swatch, and our values for our blue swatch is 95 cyan, 20% magenta, 50% yellow, and 0% black. We once again get a preview of our swatch. If we click OK, our line segment has changed to match that swatch color, and our swatch is added to the bottom of the list. If I open up the Pages panel, double click to go back to page 1, you can see that when we placed our cover image, we went over the page bounds. Now this is okay. If you print or export from InDesign, anything that is not on the page won't print or export. But to give us a better idea as we move forward what our final product will look like, we're going to crop this. Very, very easy. I'm going to select the selection tool. I'm going to click once on the image. I'm now going to click and drag from the bottom right control handle and snap this image to the page bounds. And there we have it. We've cropped it, and we now have a better idea of what our brochure will look like. So a quick file, save, and we're ready to move on to the next video. Alright, in the last video, we placed our graphics, we created our line segments, we created swatches, and we're now ready to start working with text within InDesign. So to begin, I'm going to select the Type tool. I'm going to come over to the right-hand column. I'm going to click to drag out a text frame underneath the logo. Now you'll notice that InDesign has automatically placed a cursor insertion point within the text frame. So with that there, I'm going to enable caps lock and type in outdoor. With the Type tool still selected, I'm going to click and drag in between our yellow lines to drag out our header. I'm going to type in wild, enter or return, aisles. Right underneath our header frame, I'm going to click and drag out our subhead. And I'm going to type in width, alight, gear. And now moving into the middle column, I'm going to click and drag out a text frame at the bottom for our copyright info. Now for the copyright info, I don't want to type all that in. Fortunately, in the Assets folder, there's a text file that I've opened up in a text editor. You can use any one that's your favorite. I'm going to select our copyright info text, Command or Control C to copy, switch back to InDesign, Command or Control V to paste. InDesign kept our cursor in there even when we switched applications. I'm now going to open the Pages panel, double click to select page 2. Type tool still selected. I'm going to click and drag out a text frame that spans both the first and second column. I'm going to switch back to my text editor, select my main paragraph text, Command or Control C to copy, switch back to InDesign, Command or Control V to paste. Type tool still selected. In the left-hand column, I'm going to drag out a caption frame, switch back to text editor, select my first caption text, Command or Control C to copy, Command or Control V to paste. Type tool still selected. Drag out a frame for caption 2. Back to the text editor. Select the second caption text. Command or Control C to copy. Back in InDesign. Command or Control V to paste. And for our bio text frame, I'm going to roughly align this to the left edge of the icon. Click, drag out our bio text frame. Switch back to our text editor. I'm going to select the bio text. Command or Control C to copy, switch back to InDesign, Command or Control V to paste, and that's it. We've entered in our bio, our 2 captions, our main paragraph text that we pasted from our text file, along with our copyright. We've typed in outdoor underneath the pluralist logo, as well as our header and subheader. If we go to File, Save, we're ready to move on to the next video where we style this text. Okay, in the last video, we typed and placed our text, both our headers, our copyright info, our main paragraph, our captions, and our bio. and we're ready to style this. So keeping the type tool still selected, or selecting it again, I'm going to click and drag to select the text in the outdoor text frame. I'm going to click into the font menu in the control strip, type in Lithos, choose Lithos Pro Black. I'm going to change this font size to be 18 point, still in the control strip. I'm going to align this to the center. Now since this is currently black text on a fairly busy background image, probably wouldn't read as well, I'm going to change this text fill color in the control strip here to paper. And it'll look white to us because our paper color is white. But keep in mind, paper swatch in InDesign is exactly what it sounds like. Whatever color the paper is that you print this document on, that's the color this text will be. So it looks white to us because InDesign's default paper swatch is white. If you printed this document on blue, this outdoor text would be blue. Okay, so type tool still selected. I'm going to click and drag to select our Wild Isles text. Type into the font menu in the control strip, Lithos. Choose Lithos Pro Black. I'm going to change its font size to 48 point. Align this to the center. Change its fill color to paper. Type tool still selected. Highlight the with a light gear text. Type in Lithos into the font menu in the control strip. Choose Lithos Pro Black. Now for our with a light gear text, I want to change its font size to 16 point. If we look in the list, that's not an option by default. Not a problem. I'm going to click into the font size dropdown, type in 16, and hit either Tab, Enter, or Return to commit, and there you go, custom font size. We're going to align this to the center as well, and change its fill color to paper. Type tool is still selected, haven't switched off it. I'm going to click and drag to highlight our copyright text. I'm going to leave this text medium pro. I am going to, however, shrink its font size a little bit and choose 9 point. This will, like the others, get aligned to center. I'm going to change its fill color to paper. We're now going to open up the Pages panel, double click to jump to page 2. Type tool is still selected. I'm going to click and drag to highlight all the text in our main paragraph. I'm going to click into the font menu, type in Garamond Pro. I'm going to choose Garamond Pro Bold. I'm going to change its font size to 24 point. I'm going to leave this left aligned. I'm going to change its fill color to that custom blue that we created earlier. So I'm going to open up the fill color control, scroll down the swatches, choose our blue. Type tool still selected. I'm going to highlight our first caption text, and I'm only going to edit the fill color right now. So open up the fill color in the control strip, select blue, type tool still selected, select our second caption text, change its fill color to blue, our custom blue down at the bottom. For the bio, same thing, just click and drag within the bio text frame, open up the fill color, scroll down to the bottom, change that to blue. Now for our captions, we have actually two different fonts inside our caption text frames. So to select only the title, I'm going to click and drag to the left to select the title. I'm going to go up to the font menu, click in it, type in Lithos, choose Lithos Pro Black. I'm now going to click and select the body text only, go up to the font menu, type in Courier, we're going to select Regular, and now we're on to Caption 2. I'm going to click and drag, selecting only the title within the text frame, go up to the font menu, type in Lithos, choose Lithos Pro Black. I'm going to click and drag up to select only the body text in the second caption, type in Courier, select Regular, and for our bio, I'm going to select all. Once again, back into the font menu, simple click, type in Courier, select Regular, and I'm actually going to take the bio's font size down to 10 point. There you have it. We've styled our paragraph, our captions, our bio, our copyright, our header and subheader. We're ready to do a file, save, and move on to the next video. Alright, here we have it, our final design brochure. We've placed images, we've created line segments, custom swatches, typed, placed, and styled our text. Our layout's looking good. So what next? Well, you can either, if you have a printer hooked up or you're hooked up to a printer on the network, print this brochure directly from InDesign by going up to File, choosing Print. You'll see InDesign's print dialog. You can choose what printer you'd like to go to, the number of copies. There's other options in here if there's a few other things that you'd like to change in a more advanced setting. Or if you're sending this off to get printed somewhere, you can export this as a PDF. That way all your fonts come across, your images, and you just send the PDF and it gets printed. So once again, up in the File menu, we choose Export. For this, we'll choose an Adobe PDF for print. We'll name it Pluralist Brochure. You click the Save button. You now see our Export Adobe PDF dialog. You can pick the page range. If I choose View PDF after exporting and click Export, give it a second here, we see our final brochure in Acrobat or whatever PDF viewer you have installed. And this PDF isn't just for print. You can print this, but you could also post this online or send it, email it out to your team for review, what have you. So there, congratulations. In a short amount of time, you've started from scratch, placed graphics, designed a trifold double-sided brochure, and hopefully this series has shown you how easy it is to create compelling layouts within InDesign. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.